let's say for this effect, I hand the deck over to the spectator and they can give it a shuffle. After they're done, I would have them go ahead and take out any card they would like. Let's say they take out this card. Now, I don't want to see the card, but I will show it to you. So here's your selection. Go ahead and remember that. But after the spectator has remembered their card, I would take it back. So here it is one more time. And I would shuffle it somewhere into the deck, just like this. So after I have done that, I would have the spectator go ahead and cut the deck about in half and just leave it like that in half. So now I would ask the spectator to point to one of the two piles. So let's say they point to this pile. So that means we're going to end up using this pile. But this one, we're actually going to do something a little different. I'm going to go ahead and actually make a pile of cards just like this. So, with this pile of cards, that means I'm going to try to find your card. So I think maybe this card right here. So that means for the first time ever, your card is the 5 of diamonds. No, it's not the 5 of diamonds. Okay. Well, I think I'll put it somewhere in the deck, and all I have to do is go 1, 2, 3. You're going to see one card and one card only. And I hope this is your card, the 10 of hearts. So that was the effect. If you would like to learn how to do this, make sure to stick around for the tutorial. So before I get into the tutorial, in case you're wondering about the cards I'm using, because I don't use these very often, these are the Odyssey playing cards, and I have a deck review on these, so I will leave that down below in the description. But without further ado, here is how you are going to perform this. So it works better with borderless cards, like bead decks, but you don't have to use borderless cards. If I actually have enough borderless cards in my collection, I will actually make a video in the future going over cards that are borderless, just so you know what cards to use for tricks like these. But this deck is totally fine. So let's say you hand it over to the spectator and they give it a shuffle. After they're done mixing up the deck, they're going to take out any card. Now, I don't look at the card, but it's okay if you do. And it might be good if you have the card signed. So, in this case, we have the 4 of diamonds. All you want to do with this card is either control it to the top of the deck or keep it on top. Now, down below in the description, I'm going to put some videos there. The first video I'm going to put is the overhand shuffle. Then I'm going to put the false overhand shuffle, which is actually what I use. I'm going to put some card controls, like my top 5 card controls, and then I'm going to put some false cuts there. So any of those work. So once you have the card on top, you're all set. I put the deck down and I have them cut it about in half and leave it in half. So let's say they cut it right around here. Now you know the selection is on this half. So all I did was some magician choice and I asked them to point to a half. Now by saying point to a half, they don't know what's gonna happen next. So all they're going to do is just point to a half. So here's so here's both possibilities of what could happen. We know the card is here, so I'll leave it face up to help us. If they point to this half, so without the card, you will say, okay, we're gonna put this half aside and we're gonna use this half. Now, if they point to this half like the performance, you can say, okay, I think your card might be somewhere in this half. So we're gonna end up using this half, but we're also gonna use this half to help us. So you can do it really any way you want. You just want to cut the deck in half and then use the half with their selection. So let's say they choose this half. You're going to take this part of the deck now, and I like to spread the cards as much as I can when putting them down. This is to cover all of the gaps. So for example, since I have a black mat, you can see this gap, that's no good. You want to cover that up. So I'll go through and I'll actually cover it up just like this. Now, if I don't have enough cards here, I might take a few from the bottom. Doesn't really matter. And I can put it down. And now you're all set. So you know their card is on top. Actually going to raise this just for the slight. So, you know their card is on top here. So what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, I think your card might be somewhere in this half. And all you're going to do is take one of the cards from this pile. Just don't take a card and then leave a gap like that. That's why I like to take cards, for example, this one, because it's on top of this third card. So if I take it, there's going to be no gap. So while you're choosing a card, you're going to want to catch a break below their card. So all I did was a pinky count. Now I will leave a tutorial for the pinky count. So you can do a pinky count while actually doing this to look for a card. Your hand can be to the side and you can push off with your thumb, put your pinky in, and then pull back and catch the break. Or what you could do is take the card, turn it face up, and while asking, is this your card, you could riffle up in the back 2 cards. I would just look them in the eye while doing that. Or you can use your thumb to push over 2 cards, put your index finger on the second card, just put your pinky in and square everything up. You just want a pinky break. So once you turn this card face up with your break, you're going to ask, I think this is your card. So you're not going to ask it, but you're going to say, I think this is your card. And they're going to say no. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to put your thumb on the corner of the pinky break. So a little hard to show, but right here. And your middle finger is going to go straight up to the top right here, and you're going to pick it up like this. So now it's a double. And I put this about halfway in, and I leave it about an inch sticking out. You're going to raise your hand about 4 to 5 inches, okay? So play around with it, and all you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, if this isn't your card, go ahead and watch. You're going to go 1, 2, 3. When you get to 3, use your middle finger to just flick it down. And if you do that correctly, or if you do that correct, you will notice that the 4 shows up. The 4, their selection actually turns face up, but the 9 disappears. That's because it's right here. And that is the move. So it's really easy. So I'll go over that one more time. So you know you have your double, and you're going to riffle about halfway. And I only put it in about an inch. So cover up the black gaps. Okay. I lift up about 4 to 5 inches, not too low, but not too high. And I just use my middle finger to flick it. And the fork will turn face up. I'll go over that move one more time for you, just to make sure you have it down. So I cover every black gap there is. Gonna go ahead and put this in about halfway, down by about an inch in. I lift it up about 4 to 5 inches like this, and I flick, and it's gonna turn into the 4 of diamonds. So that was the effect. I hope you really enjoyed this effect. If you are new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time with a new video. Bye.